guys, so my name is Jade Benward if you guys are new to my channel, and I have just graduated high school 3 months late because of Corona. Actually haven't gotten my diploma yet. So today's video, as you guys can probably tell by the title above, is going to be my real, honest, getting down to the juicy tea advice for high school. Now that I have officially graduated high school, I am not going to be holding back at all. I'm going to be answering some questions that you guys gave me over on Instagram, as well as just my own personal advice that I wrote down on my handy dandy sheet of paper over here. If you guys are new to my channel, make sure to subscribe down below, as well as give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and let me know in the comment section down below any other questions you guys have about high school or advice or any video ideas that you guys want to see before I go back to college for our little like back to school season. I'm gonna keep this intro pretty short and sweet because I want to get into the advice, so that's gonna be it. So my first tip for you guys, and honestly one of the most important, is to get involved. I know that there are people who are more extroverted and not as extroverted and aren't gonna want to be as involved as I might have been in high school, but what made my high school experience so amazing is the fact that I was senior class president, president of FCA, captain of my lacrosse team, like all of these things that I was involved in. And you don't even have to be leadership positions in those clubs, but I feel like the more active of a role you take in the clubs you join and the different things you want to do, whether or not that be sports or band or art or whatever you like to do, whatever your interest is in, it really is where you find the majority of your friends and people with common interests as you, and overall makes your high school experience better. My second tip kind of goes along with my first tip, and that is to not let fear hold you back from doing things that you want to do. Now, I totally get it. Not everyone wants to run for student council, not everybody wants to play a sport, not everybody wants to do this or that or be in that club, but I feel like a lot of the time it's fear that holds us back from trying out those new things. I feel like you can never really tell if you like something or you're gonna wanna be involved with something unless you give it a fair shot. And so never let like fear of not winning an election for student council hold you back from running for student council if you wanna be involved with things like homecoming and float builds and all the stuff like that that student council would do. My third tip kind of has two different sides to it, and that is to make really good, honest relationships with people, be genuine, be intentional with people, but at the same time, don't take crap from people. I tried for so long to stay with I always just felt like I had to stay with this one friend group, and it took me all the way to my senior year of high school to figure out, hey, these girls literally treat me like crap. I don't like them very much because they're not very nice to me, and I have all of these other people that show me so much love and so much kindness and have created those genuine and intentional relationships with me. Why would I spend my time with these people? Now, I'm not saying just give up on every friendship when someone makes you mad or you get in an argument with someone. I think it's really important to try and approach that person first, try and work out that conflict before you just ditch them and go on to the next one, because then eventually you're gonna argue with every friend that you ever make at some point in your life, and then you just won't have any friends. So try and work out that conflict. But if it's something persistent, if it's a group that doesn't even have like similar interests with you, like I didn't want to drink in high school, I didn't want to become a part of the party scene, and I had friends that went in that direction, and like you can be friends with people that party and drink if you don't want to drink. Most of my friends party and drink, and I don't do that. But if they're really just not the type of people you want to hang out with, then just move on. I feel like we all have this need to like stay in one friend group, like we feel like we have to be in this one friend group or only have one friend group. But for me, that was never the case. Like I had this friend group here, that friend group from there, my friends from lacrosse, my friends from this club, my friends from SGA. I had 3 different lunch groups that I would rotate and sit with. And yes, some people will get kind of pissy, like, oh, look at her like sitting with all these different people. But again, that's another one of those cases of don't listen to them, don't let them treat you like crap, and sit with who you want to sit with. In my opinion, the more the merrier when it comes to friends. Now, my fourth tip for you guys, and I do have a couple tips sporadically in here about this topic, is about dating. Yes, wow, the glorious topic of dating in high school. I've actually made a whole video about this like a long time ago. It was like a chit chat, get ready with me, and I talk all about my high school love life. That was actually before I started dating the person that I'm dating right now, so my opinions have changed slightly. But my tip for you guys or girls, is to stick it out and wait for the right person. There is so much pressure, especially when I feel like you get into your junior, senior year of high school, even sophomore year of high school when you start driving, to have a boyfriend and start dating, because a lot of people do. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I've seen a lot of good, genuine relationships come out of high school. But I feel like there's just this pressure to just accept the first invitation, the first guy that asks you out on a date, you go. And it's okay to date someone and see how it goes, but don't feel like you have to date someone because everybody else is. And trust me, as a girl, like, that was something that was so hard for me. Like, I don't know, like I hadn't dated anyone, went all through my junior year of high school, kind of dated someone right at the end of junior year, but didn't really work out. Wasn't really the greatest relationship in the whole wide world, which that's a story for another time. But I just felt so much pressure, and I was like, why do people not like me? Why do people not want to date with me? And I let this whole dating thing define how I felt about myself, and that is where I went wrong. But it ended up where homecoming of my senior year, I actually started dating this guy who I'm still currently dating, and I'm going to continue dating in college. And sticking it out, going through all those years of not dating someone and letting it hit my self-confidence led me to the person that I was supposed to be with. And you know what? You might not date all the way through high school, and that's completely fine and completely normal. There's a lot of people don't date all the way through high school. I know it doesn't feel like that if you're currently in high school right now, but a ton of people don't date in high school. And I honestly had no intentions of dating anyone my senior year because I was like, I'm about to go to college, literally, what's the point? But it led me to the right person who, you know, I'm Christian, you guys know that. I'm not forcing my beliefs on you, but he's Christian. He has those same values as me. He loves and respects me. And honestly, even if we break up, if we don't make it all the way through college, I will be grateful to him for my entire life because he has shown me how a guy should treat me and how a guy should respect me and how a guy should love the Lord and me and put Christ at the center of a relationship. And yeah, so wait for the right person. Stick it out, ladies. This fifth one is kind of random and kind of specific, but this is another kind of relationship dating one. Dances are so much fun when you just go with your friends. Like literally starting freshman year, freshman formal, everyone had dates to the dances, and I was like, you all are missing out because my girl gang friend group had the best freaking time at the dances, just going us. You take pictures together, you all get ready together, then you go and you literally just act like clowns, and it's awesome. And I did go to a dance with a guy, obviously my senior year. I went to homecoming with the guy that I'm dating right now, and that was fun too. I'm not saying that that was not fun at all, but we had already been like best friends for like a year before that, so I still went with my group of friends. But every other dance, I literally didn't go with a date other than prom. I went to prom with a date. Wow, I'm really contradicting my advice right now. But most dances, I didn't go with a date, and I had so much freaking fun. Number 6, take so many pictures. Now, I know this seems like an obvious one, and you probably take pictures at like homecoming and the occasional like football game or whatever, but literally take stupid pictures while you're in class. Take pictures at every football game, at every dance, at every event you go to, float builds, like random lunch date with your friends, because when you graduate, guys, let me just tell you, I'm a class of 2020 senior. My senior year got cut short, and I would tell you, any senior would tell you the exact same thing, but high school flies by. And I know that high school is not the greatest years for everybody. For me, it literally was the best 4 years of my life. I absolutely loved my high school experience, and I know that some of that is very circumstantial. You can't really control exactly how your high school experience is gonna go, but I think that using some of these tips I'm gonna tell you, and also just, I don't know, being really present with it. High school can be the best 4 years of your life, and you're gonna wanna remember every single moment of it. I made a scrapbook of my whole 4 years of high school during like the stay-at-home order of Corona, and that is honestly like one of my favorite things. I cherish that thing, and it's because I took so many pictures, and I'm so grateful that I took so many pictures. And honestly, looking back, I wish I took more, and I wish that I had this YouTube channel all the way through high school, and I never really vlogged anything at high school, and I just wish that I did so that I would have those memories. Number 7 is to have school spirit. Now, I know this may sound boring. You may get to pep rallies and be like, oh my goodness, these are so cringy, but get into it. Get into the football games, get into the basketball games, go to every sporting event, actually. Everyone just goes to football, but I went to every single basketball game. I went to wrestling matches, I went to cross-country meets, I went to softball games like that my friends were in and whatever, and obviously I played a sport, so I would love when people would come to my games, but have school spirit, get invested into homecoming and float builds and all sorts of stuff like that, because again, it's just one of those things that is going to make your high school experience so much better. It might seem cheesy at first, but it's just so fun. Get into it. High school is meant to be fun. Number 8 is another one kind of talking about just knowing how fast these 4 years are gonna go by for you, but just understand that when you have hard days at school, because you're gonna have a lot of hard, stressful days at school, hard days are just hard days, and they don't define your entire year. They don't define your entire high school experience. And just know to be present and to be grateful in the moment that you have. I know it's so easy to just want to wish away high school. It is so easy to just want to get to summer or get to the next thing, but when you're out of it, you're gonna wish that you were more present in those moments. And one of the things that I feel like made my high school experience the experience that I had was that Yes, I looked forward to college. Yes, I looked forward to summer, but I loved every single day I got to go to school and be with my friends and every football game that I got to go to. Now this one is for all of my people starting to think about college, so like juniors, seniors, and high school. This is a huge tip for you for the college application process, and like I try to explain this to my friends and they just did not listen to me. Narrow down what colleges you think you're gonna wanna go to before you apply. Like there's people applying to like 10 plus schools. That is what makes the college application process stressful. When you're like me and you apply to 5 schools, it is not that I mean, it's still stressful, but it ain't that stressful. It's not that hard. You can really focus on your essays, really focus on making your applications good. And also, every application you submit is like $50 to $100. So like if you're applying to 14 schools, I really feel like you don't want to equally go to all 14 of those schools. You probably only want to maybe go between like 5 to 7 of those. So just apply to those 5 to 7. Like I know everyone's like, well, what if I don't get in? I think you're gonna be okay. Like I feel like getting into college is not quite as hard as everybody assumes it's going to be. I didn't have too much of a difficulty with it. Obviously, always apply to a safety school and a reach school, but you just don't need to apply to 14 schools. I'm just saying, I'm gonna make a whole video, I think, about the college application process, my tips, how my college application process went, and all that stuff, if you guys wanna see that. So leave questions for that in the description box down below, or not description box, comment section down below, and I'll make sure to talk about those in that video. But I just needed to put that one out here because people are just insane with how many schools they applied to. Number 11 is to work hard in your classes, very important, get good grades, get the GPA up, but also don't stress about it too much. Now that I'm on the other side and going to college and through the application process, yes, my grades helped me immensely getting into college. Yes, it was so important to have a good GPA, good ACT, all sorts of stuff like that. But it was just not the end all be all. Like getting a B is really not that big of a deal, and failing a test every now and again is really not that big of a deal. And I know that especially right at the beginning of high school, freshman, sophomore year, when I had literally never gotten less than an A in a class and never gotten less than an A on a test, it would like just crush me to get like a B on something, and then it would just crush me to get a C or fail something. But like, y'all, I'm going to Belmont University, I'm into nursing school, and I failed tests. So you guys are gonna be fine. I would say push yourself and take as hard of classes as you possibly can. Get those AP credits, they do really help. But also just know that high school is just high school. It's really not that big of a deal when you look at it from the other side, and don't stress yourself out too much because it's really just not worth it. Number 13 is to not let popularity make you feel like you can't talk to someone. The social statuses and popularity in high school just feel so real when you're in the moment, but literally the second that you graduate, the second that you're moving on to college, like I haven't even gone to college yet, and popularity, like the popular people in high school just do not have the same effect anymore. Like I see those people, I'm like, they are literally just people. They are not any better than me because they were in a certain friend group that someone just decided was the popular kid group. It's just insane how much that stuff really doesn't matter once you graduate. And just my tip for you guys is, I know that I used to be like, oh, like I'm kind of scared to talk to that person. I don't want to go sit next to that person in class because they're popular and like they're not going to like me. They're going to think I'm weird. But that is so dumb and so not necessary. And number 14, big one that I struggled with in high school and really finally just kind of got to around senior year, finally kind of figuring this out. You don't have to act like you always have it together. I had the reputation of being the fun and happy and optimistic and extroverted person in school, the SGA president, the FCA president, all these different things that were great things, and I absolutely loved them, and I loved being able to talk to a lot of people, have a lot of different friends and different stuff like that. But I had to always felt like I had to put on this front of being happy all the time and being optimistic all the time, and honestly, that's just not how it was all the time. I went through some really hard, challenging things in high school, which again, I can talk about in other videos at some point down the road. But I had a lot of challenges that I went through in high school. I went through a lot of challenges with my friends. I dealt with a lot of personal insecurity and a lot of anxiety and mental health things that were just difficult when I was in high school, and for a long time I really felt like I couldn't talk about those, and I still struggle with not feeling like I can talk about those because people are gonna think I'm weird or weak or complaining or emotional. But everybody feels those things, and let yourself be vulnerable with people. Let yourself have a bad day. Let yourself be in a bad mood sometimes. You don't always have to walk in to school being like, hey guys, how you doing? When in the end, you're dying inside, you know? So just don't make yourself feel like you always have to have this front. I don't know if this relates to anybody else than just me, but this was just a big thing for me like especially this school year, of just letting myself feel what I need to feel, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Alright you guys, that is going to be it for today's video. If you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up, as well as make sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below, because my comment section just got re-enabled. I think it's finally re-enabled for good now, which is so awesome because I love reading your comments. It actually makes my day. So even if you just want to comment like hi or like a smiley face emoji, I would still like that. I like to like all of y'all's comments because they're nice. Also, if you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe down below. I will be posting a bunch of college content and fun stuff like that coming soon. I already have a dorm haul, school supplies haul, dorm and school supplies shopping vlogs, all sorts of those really fun back to school videos out on my channel right now, but there will be even more fun content coming soon when I get to college vlogs and day in my life, week in my life, all sorts of stuff like that, dorm tours. So make sure to subscribe. We're about to be getting into a very fun season of life. Sorry, my camera's like blinking at me and it's really freaking me out. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at jadebenward is my personal Instagram, where I post pictures of my friends and my life and my school and all sorts of stuff like that. I recently just made that Instagram public for you guys, but then also my YouTube Instagram, which is jade_benward, and that's where I post updates on videos when I upload, show you guys my favorite products, all sorts of stuff like that. So that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.
Missing someone.